She'd been somewhat surprised to learn that he was a keen preservationist who was interested in keeping the island completely off the grid and was refusing to install modern innovations, allowing only the original 19th century technology. He planned to collect rainwater in a cistern, use a primitive electric generation system, and cook on an enormous wood stove, all of which were considered wonderfully advanced when the island was developed by lumber tycoon Edward T. Fletcher. When Lucy asked if this wasn't rather impractical, Newman had replied that it was modern life that was impractical, citing scientific studies linking climate change to human activity. The old ways were much kinder to the environment. And face it, we've only got one planet. There's no planet B, he declared. We've got to take care of Earth, or we're all doomed. Some of the locals hired to work on the restoration project had a good laugh over Newman's proclaimed environmental stewardship, as restoring the 19th century structures required using thousands of kilowatts of electricity, provided by gas-greedy portable generators. His insistence on using authentic materials such as lath and horsehair plaster rather than sheetrock, and searching out recycled flooring, windows, and doors, not to mention hardware, had required lots of workers who had to be ferried to and from the island on powerboats that burned gallons of fossil fuel. It's like the cloth versus disposable diapers thing, Bill had told her. Sure, the disposables fill up the landfill, but washing the cloth diapers uses water and energy. It's kind of 6 of one and half dozen of the other when it comes to the environment. Most controversial was the restoration of the immense barn, which alone was estimated to cost at least $2 million. The huge number of cedar shingles required for the roof and siding had created an industry shortage that sent the price skyrocketing and shook the commodities market. The penny saver had received numerous letters to the editor protesting the shingle shortage and arguing that there were better ways to spend so much money. One writer proposed restoring the sprawling local elementary school, for example, which he claimed was a prime example of 1960s architecture. Locals had also refused to be bamboozled by Newman's supposed generosity in donating the island to the Land Trust, while reserving his right to retain it for his own use during his lifetime. It was true that he'd also preserved the rights of the Hopkins family, long-term residents of the island, to remain there, but again, only during his lifetime. And while the agreement set limits on how the island could be used, and was intended to preserve the island's environment in perpetuity, the gift had come with plenty of strings attached, and had garnered a large tax deduction for the Newmans, a fact that many writers of letters to the editor had also pointed out. Despite the controversy, however, the party was eagerly anticipated by everyone who received an invitation, and that included Land Trust board members, contractors, local officials, and media, which was pretty much a who's who of the entire town. The question that was on everyone's lips as the big day drew closer was, how were the Newmans going to pull off such a big party while preserving their 19th century lifestyle? Sue Finch wasn't the only one to wonder. Are we going to have to swim there? And are we all going to be sitting in the dark, huddled around a campfire, toasting weenies on sticks? Lucy was pondering that very question when she drove home from work a week or so later and found a rusting and dented old Subaru parked in her driveway. The car was missing a couple of hubcaps, had a crumpled front fender, and the glass on a rear window had been replaced with duct tape and a plastic grocery bag. Continuing her examination with the keen eye of an investigative reporter, she noticed the registration tag was out of date